Welcome back. We're in the second half of our conversation this morning. It's all about money and finance because it's a Tuesday. And today, specifically, we're talking about election jitters, investment jitters because of the elections as well. And also take on that, we also have our question of the day. Let's have that up on screen. In this electioneering period, what measures have you taken to ensure your financial safety net? Once again, in this electioneering period, what measures have you taken to ensure your financial safety net? You can get us on the WhatsApp number right there. You can also get me at I am Jeff Mote on Twitter. Let's see what we have. Have that up on screen. I have a 2-acre piece of land in Elaongoruone, which I've planted trees. I've been contemplating on cutting them down and do a quick sale before elections. Is that a good idea? It's John M. watching from Thika. That's a perfect question for my panel this morning as we go through this. We have Francis Mbudhia and George Mboro. They're both deep in the real estate market. Francis, I'll start with you. He's had a farm, 2 acres, planted trees. It's election time. He wants to just cut the trees, quick sale, takes his money and runs. What do you tell him?
No, I won't advise him to do that because there's no need for cutting trees, put it in a quick sale, because definitely you won't get a quick buyer for the property. The best thing is you wait, let the election be over, you sell slowly and sell at the right price. Yes.
George, on your end, because at the end of the day, it's almost like a wait and see. You don't want to wait too long and the price goes a certain way. What did you tell him?
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much. From the question, I do not understand whether it's do a quick sale for the trees or do a quick sale for the land, because land is a source of manufacturing. So it's commendable he has planted trees, and if you'd like to cut the trees, because that's can be a source of income as well, sell the timber, that's commendable. And if he's talking about cut the trees, maybe sell the trees and also sell the land, it's a good idea, but why? The reason is, what is the motive? Are you being motivated because you feel there will be crisis after the election? What is the motive? That is the bottom line, because if you have decided to sell and maybe do something with the money, and you feel it's a right time and you get the right buyer and buy the same, because the business are moving on. I cannot encourage you to just stick there and just panic, but if you are selling it out of panic because you feel there could be crisis, that I cannot recommend, because you are selling it not out of a need but out of fear. You're selling out of fear, but if you have that need or you have that plan, you need to sell the trees and you also need to sell the land at a certain market value. Yeah, do it. Do not be pushed because of the elections. If you do it out of panic or out of fear, for sure you are going to burn your fingers, because at the end of the day, the elections will come, will go, and now you'll start cursing the person you have sold to, because it is out of your own fears, and you did things in a hasty manner. You are going now to curse the person who bought also, because they saw the opportunity. That person that is going to put that in, and it is the same with the stock. There are people who are selling out of fear, and there's the money, the cash. The cash, with the inflation affects cash, but you have stocks and the prices increase, the stocks are safe. If you have land, even money, people sometimes get confused. You feel like having the cash, the solid cash, like it's a better way of saving or having your investment or your wealth, which is not the case. If your money is somewhere in land, in a property, in a stock, it is safer than you having it as cash, because assuming now things move good and now there is so much money in the market and the demand is not there, the prices will automatically, again, you get the point.
Right.
Yeah, so you need to not sell out of fear or because you do not understand how the business are going to move. If you have to sell it at the right market and out of a plan. You have a plan, I'm selling to do ABCD, not out of fear. Where will it go? And the world now is a global village, and that is why even our leaders, they have to ensure that we have peace. You are not going to cause chaos here. Where are you going to run to? You go to America, you will be known, you are coming from Kenya. Nowadays, unlike in the previous years, the thing that is happening right now, it is seen all over the world. So you come and mess up, where are you going to hide? The world is now a global village.
Right.
So it is high time we ensure that wherever you are, you do the right thing, because there is nowhere to hide nowadays.
Francis, he says that even as you're making these decisions, don't make them on fear.
Yes.
But business has a lot to do with emotions.
Sure.
Whether you're buying or selling on the stock market, or you're buying or selling land.
Yes.
And you tell this guy not to sell, how do you balance, and not only for him, but your other clients, the emotion and the, like we're talking about investment jitters.
Sure.
The jitters that come with these elections, how do you have them balance it and make them realize, okay, you don't have to panic sell? Just how do you convince someone of that? Because at times all they want to do is, okay, let me just sell. Even if I'm selling it for half the price, at least I have that money in my pocket.
That means he's doing out of fear. If you do sell that property out of fear, whoever buyer you come, you sell. Irrespective, you give me the lowest price possible. You sell the property. And that is why George is saying, if you don't have a plan, you are selling it out of panic, please don't. Yes.
Okay, and I want us to move it forward, because even as we talk about election jitters, what is definitely for sure is that we'll have a transition. And with transitions, things change. You know, policies that were put in place, we have spoken about the big four, and that was this particular administration's, key agenda. Affordable housing was in there. George, we've spoken about this with you before. What's your take on probably what happens as we cross over to whoever who becomes president after that? What do you think happens when you look at it from a business perspective? What happens to affordable housing?
Sure. Thank you very much. You'll notice that the Jubilee administration, when it came into power, that is in 2017, which was a continuation, even the previous government that was there in the from 2013 to 2017, which is the same people, our president and our deputy, they based their argument on the Vision 2030. And this is something that was drafted during the Kibaki regime. And we'll find that our country, now we have realized, our country is not, we are not just doing things out of just doing things. And even the policies that the government are putting into place, we need continuity. And you look at something like Vision 2030 came with things like LAPSET, came with things like now people owning homes, affordable homes, to ensure people are more stable, ensuring there is security, coming with the mechanism to come with security. So this regime that now we expect to take over, we expect a continuity. As a country and as a people, we do not expect that every time we'll be going to factory setting once a new regime comes into power. We as a people, and the Constitution has given us the mandate to ensure that we put the leaders and the people who are taking the positions of leadership into account. So once they come into power, it is up to us to continue talking. Like we, Mizizi Africa Homes Limited, we have been talking about creating a conducive working environment, and we thank the government because we have seen our message has been taken. The people need a conducive working environment because these are the same people that are expected to pay the taxes, and these taxes is what the government is using for their development agendas. So at the end of the day, we need to create a conducive environment, and we as the people, because now the information is out there and information is power, we do not see our leaders that we have put into the posts taking our country now diverging from our visions that we have as a country, like Vision 2030, and it's commendable the Jubilee administration tried really to stick to the Vision 2030 and ensuring that the infrastructure continues, ensuring that those linking, like LAPSET, it is linking Kenya and other East African countries, road, by rail, by air. We ensure that there is that flow of business, and if we continue making our country to be a place people can do business, people can live with peace, that is the way to go. But if we elect leaders and automatically within no time, we will notice that for sure they are not, it is not moving with our vision as a country. Let's say Vision 2030, we'll actually start talking and we'll say we need to rectify. And we have seen other countries like Sri Lanka, people themselves have taken charge because they have seen the way this country is being led, it is not the way that we expect. So the same case will happen. If our leaders take position and we are keeping watch, we are very keen because now information is out there, everybody can see, everything now is on social media, even the mainstream media, everybody is talking. You'll be surprised that we'll be able to put our government more in check, because as a country, these are our aspirations. We envision to be people who are stable by the time Vision 2030 comes, And there are ways that have been put. There is a blueprint of Vision 2030, and Jubilee administration borrowed from that blueprint to come up with the big 4 agendas. And even these other governments that we are planning to put into place, you will find a big chunk of it was taken from that vision. So if we see we are moving in the right direction, then from Vision 2030, we'll need now to draft another Vision 2050 or 2060, and even in the whole world, there's a certain vision that we as a people, we are looking to have a certain climate by 2063 or something. We need to be people who are planning way ahead, and then come up with policies, come up with ways. And we as the people, because we are the people who are going to bear the burden, we also ensure that we are alert and we are keeping watch and we are talking about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Francis, for you, I mean, from this particular government into a new administration, what are some of the things you're hoping this administration that will come in after August the 9th continues or should start? You know, because as a business person, there are those things that you like, you want them to remain, the others that you wish they would do, they haven't yet done. What are those things?
One of the things we wish for is continuity. Because if there is no continuity in business, that small gap will hinder some investors from now changing the strategy from what they had planned to a new strategy now. That strategy will take time. And now that's why we wish for a peaceful transition and continuity in our political arena. Yes.
What about the business dynamics itself? Is there anything that you want them to do for business people, whether it's real estate or any other business as well?
Of course, for business people in real estate, we would want the new government which will come to look at the loan. When they're giving mortgages to our client, they should look at that. At least they lower the percentage of the reading percentage. That should be looked at definitely, because they're straining our clients. Yes.
Okay. There's another thing that we recently saw. CS Caronay unlocking the digital system for a bit for transactions to take place, because there was quite a jam in there. I think they're talking about over R1 billion in terms of transaction took place with just that one unlocking of the portal. As we move forward, everyone says that this is the way to go, digital, because it does keep out the land cartels and all these other people. How do we make sure that it actually serves the people and isn't a bottleneck, George?
Sure. Yeah, thank you very much. And you notice that bureaucracy or making things so difficult for the people is what has actually been straining our economy. And we are happy because with the digitalization, which was what brought the first term administration, digital, it is something that is very commendable. And as you have correctly said, lands is one of the most important ministries that we have, because land is the biggest capital we have as a country. On top of the labor, we have land capital. And the land capital, if it is well put into use, can make our country actually become a developed country within sooner than later. And that's a very good example that the Ministry of Land did. They unlocked the portal, and we have seen the e-citizen portal has continued to grow and to be made to be effective. And this is something that is very commendable. Things that were so difficult, people had to go to line up for services in the government institutions, like for something like doing a search, a title. These are things that we have seen now. Doing a search, you can do it on e-citizen. Transacting land, you can do it online. If that continues, for sure, we are removing the bureaucracy. Having to go, you have to see somebody, and that somebody is seated in the comfort of their seat, and they know there is a line of people who needs to be given services, and they are not moving an inch. They come hang their coats in the you know what has been happening in the parastatus and the government offices. People put their coat, they go do their businesses. People are lining up. You find in a day only few people have been served. If that now is taken to the online, like people can have that, they can be in a place where they need to do those things online. Like for example, I need to do a search. We are transacting a piece of land. I need to just go search. and confirm for sure this is a legit land, it belongs to this person real time. And this has also been happening when registering companies. For sure, digitalization has been one of the best things that has happened to us as a country, and it's very commendable, and that is why we are now attracting even even foreign people, and even foreign people are coming to try and study how our country is able to withstand, to be very resilient. It is because we have become digital. Nowadays, even people in the out country, they know if you need to pay anything in Kenya, you use M-Pesa, we are no longer now using cash as we used to do, the hard cash. And that is the way to go, even in the lands, in all ministries. And when we do that, for sure, we are going to be the country to watch.
Yeah. Francis, when it comes to things like taxes, stamp duty, things like that, because if you've ever been fortunate enough to do the transaction, you'll be unfortunate enough to learn that in there, you think the price is the 100,000 shillings for the acre, but in there, the other costs, and then you're told this monster called stamp duty and other things, and all of a sudden you're talking about 150, 160,000. Are there some issues there that you should look at and try and streamline in terms of the costs of buying land?
Of course, there is some issues should be streamlined, because most of the buyers, like now, if someone wants to buy a house, these are someone who have never bought a house before, so he don't know, or he or she don't know what it entails to buy this property. So all it requires is just sensitizing our people or our customers what it entails when it comes to buying a property or selling a property. Sensitization, because some of those taxes are buried. It's only that you didn't know they are supposed to be paid. So it's all about sensitization, I say.
Yes. And even as we come to a close on this one, if you had a wish list as we're getting to the elections and we cross over to the other side for whoever who comes in, what's your wish list as a business person, as a Kenyan? What are you looking at there?
I just wish that there will be smooth transition, peaceful election, and we just wish that you'll be continuing in business for a conducive environment for our customers, for us to continue doing business for our country. Yes.
Any concerns with this whole issue of we're hearing subsidies being given, mafuta ilipanda bei? I'm sure that affected your business as well in terms of how people are buying.
Yes, it affects our businesses actually, more especially because when those subsidies are given, of course it affects our taxes, the taxes you pay on when buying property, when selling properties. It affects in one or the other, indirectly it affects us in business. So we just hope that come next government, there will be a smoother transition, smooth, conducive business environment, and more solely look at the taxes when it comes to buying properties, that is in mortgages, more especially in the bank. Yes.
George, for you, what's your wish list?
Yeah, thank you very much. And you will realize that Kenyans and we as a people, people don't have a problem paying taxes. What they have a problem is how the taxes are used. So you'll find even the issue of stamp duty. If it is very clearly understood, stamp duty is this much, you pay this without any bottlenecks, without any mystery out there, without any understanding. We demystify all these myths. Like when you go to a government institution, before you get the service, you find that people lose even much more money. You will find you need to be connected. So there is a stamp duty which is maybe 2% or 4%, but you end up paying more than 10%, because by the time you know this is what I need to do, I need to pay this much. Let us have a very clear way. We know this is when you are buying a property, especially for the first-time homeowners who are actually lose a lot because they do not understand, because they meet wrong people, they are swindled. This person knows you are very green, you do not understand, you don't have the information. You find that people pay much more as handouts and such, as opposed to the real money. But if that tax is put out clearly and it is people will pay, then again now the question will be of accountability, because if the government is also accountable, people are paying this much money, and that money is being very well accounted, that this money is going into ABCD. You will find that there will be no that collusion between the people and the government, because the people will be willing and ready to pay the government taxes, because they know the government needs the revenue to do to run its programs, and now the people will pay comfortably, and now the government in return they will give accountability. This money we collected this much, we used it this way, and they will also encourage people, come up with ways of how people can even make much more more money. And we have seen the questions of what can I plant, and we have government institutions who are doing research on seeds, on all these things. Let us take these things to the farmers. Let us enable the people to create much more money as they pay the bit they need to pay to the government. And at the end of the day, we are going to have a win-win. The government will win, it will collect much revenue. The people will be happy because they are being supported by the government, as they are also expected to chip in terms of paying the taxes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I think that's where we leave it as far as this conversation is concerned. But between now and the elections and even after, you can still get in touch with them in case you want any real estate deals, or you probably want some advice on how to get into that particular space. This morning on Money and Finance, we had George Mboro, the CEO of Mizizi Africa Homes Limited. We also had Francis Mbuthia, Frantic Villa Properties CEO as well, just taking us through these particular dynamics of investment jitters as we inch closer to the polls. That's where we bring this show to a close at this particular point in time. Have a great morning. We'll be back tomorrow bright and early right here on KTT4 This Morning. Have a great day.